On today's edition of Cosmo Times,
It's time for young artists to thrive
in your favorite Cosmo cities.
Cosmo Time.
You fool, you swine. Did you think I shall folly into thy game? You fool, you swine. Did you think I shall fall? Mother of mercy, how can I? How can I?
Oh, I think that deserves an Oscar. But we have a show to host.
Welcome. On today's episode, as you can see, it's all about young artists thriving in our favorite Cosmo city.
And that's why we're filming today at Shanghai Theater Academy.
Yes, as you can see, I am young and an artist. I'm a very talented young artist.
Young? Aren't you from the 70s?
I'm an 80s child. A lot of young talents came from that generation.
True, and many generations before that. Why don't we go to New York, Melbourne, and Shanghai and find out?
If you could go back in time, which era would you go to?
"2013 is all about being modern, the latest technologies, seeing what's in the trends. But what happens if you want to go back in time? I'm hitting the streets to find out what year New Yorkers would like to go to most."
Probably the 1950s.
And why the 50s?
I think that our country had a little bit more class and sophistication during that time.
The 80s, it was fun. I liked the music.
Oh, I would probably pick 18th century Austria and Vienna to listen to the operas at the time that they were actually written.
20s. The fun, the artistic innovation mostly that was going on.
I like the current time period. I don't want to be transported.
And why the current times?
Because women have the most opportunities now that we've ever had, so why would I want to go back to the past?
The 70s.
And why the 70s?
I love the hippies. I like the lifestyle.
I think the 50s.
Why the 50s?
I think times were like more innocent then, and it was just everyone was doing their own thing.
The word on the street today is that people would go to a variety of different decades, but the thing that they have in common is that they're filled with fashion, art, and lifestyle. Now for me, I'm the kind of girl that would love to go to the 90s. I'm a 90s baby, so I feel like there were just some great things happening during that decade. Reporting for Cosmo Times, I'm Christy Clements. Now we're gonna go check in with Melbourne.
Stepping off the street and into the Block Arcades, you're transported back 120 years to the 1890s, a time of grand architecture here in Melbourne. The question is, if you had a choice to go back to any era in time, which one would it be? Let's find out.
Maybe in the 50s?
50s?
Yeah.
Like, it can't be the fashion.
Yeah.
The fashion? You like the 50s fashion?
Yeah, I like it.
New York after the Depression?
The 30s.
The 30s?
Yeah.
So, sort of, is it post-depression again, is it?
More like Hollywood golden era.
I choose the 80s.
Yeah, so what is it about the 80s?
I just think it's so bad that it's good.
Maybe the 60s?
Probably the 60s.
Yeah? Did you live through the 60s or you missed it?
Missed it.
Yeah? Is it the fashion, is it the loving, or is it the music?
The fashion and the music.
Okay. So it seems the rock music era of the 60s still resonates with most people today. I'm Martin Jama, reporting for Cosmo Times in Melbourne. Now back to Shanghai.
After watching a few time traveling series, it's hard not to imagine, if I can travel back in time, which era would I go to? Since China has over 5,000 years of history, I'm sure there's a lot of options. So let's hit the streets and find out the word of Shanghai. 如果你可以穿越，你想去哪一个朝代？
我想我可能会去唐朝吧。我想看看武则天具体真的是长得是 很漂亮啊，还是真的长得很胖啊。
在那个时代的话，经济和文化都非常的繁荣，无论是从小说啊、散文呐、诗歌，还是说到音乐、建筑，各方面都有很大的成就。
那你喜欢哪一首唐诗呢？
比如现在大家很熟悉的《长恨歌》。
谈朋友的时候最高兴了。
那是什么时候呢？
那是就是80年81年。
搿辰光谈朋友啥样？
另外谈朋友不像现在个，阿拉顶多最要好嘛，只手才了不起来，对吧
？20世纪初吧，那个时候我记得是梅兰芳就是成名的时候，然后今年好像也是梅兰芳来上海演出的100周年吧。Digging through China's 5,000 years of history, I've learned a lot about China's culture and heritage. For me personally, I like the present. I cannot imagine a time without cell phone or internet. And for me, Shanghai is such a vibrant city. This is Celia Liang reporting for Cosmo Times in Shanghai. Looks like people in Melbourne prefers to go back to the 60s.
These boots are made for walking, that's just what they'll do.
And in New York, almost every era was mentioned, I think.
New York, New York.
For me, I would love to go back to the Tang Dynasty, where being a woman is all about those sexy curves.
Yeah, Shanghai, yeah, Shanghai.
What Shanghai has anything to do with the Tang Dynasty?
After the break,
we come back to the 21st century and find out
what young artists are doing today in LA, New York, and Shanghai.
What do you call this?
Warming up the muscles on my face like a proper actor should do. Did you ever watch the movie Fame?
Let's check out our first city search in none other than the city of angels, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles is known for its sunny days, trend-setting ways, and cool laid-back vibe. But that doesn't mean its young ladies and gents are not working hard to do big things or making their dreams come true. They just do it all with a chill attitude.
Young artist Boris Biscoff is famous for his surreal long exposure photograph series called Bronson Caves.
The Bronson Caves, because this is a location where 100 years of cinema has been made.
A lot of films and TV shows have been made in the location.
Having taken the photographs of the series over the course of a year, Boris Biscoff notes that his process was unique and experimental.
There's about 5 different colors of paper that I used in the series, and what had happened would be over the course of a long exposure, my camera would be on a tripod, I would set the camera on a timer, I would walk into the photograph and I would hold all this paper up and I would make movements as the camera was exposing. So
like you walk or jump or just any kind
dance,
of movement.
and just kind of relate this color to the film of the negative. And if you were to walk by me as I was doing this, it wouldn't look like much of anything. You would look like I was kind of crazy. It would look like I would be just...
Is there anyone look at you like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like
exactly. I would get people looking at me all the time while I was doing this, because this is a public park and you can go there whenever you want. People seemed to really...
interesting.
Yeah, very captivated by what they were seeing, and that was partly the point of making such striking imagery, was to have people question what they were looking at.
When is the best time in the day for you to take the photos for this?
Wow, well this whole technique is just available to me in a very short window of time. Is only about a 20 or 30 minute window, which is right when the sun's coming down.
So the sun about to set.
The sun's about to set over the mountainside. When I was still in high school, so I was a teenager, I found my dad's old Canon AE-1 in this old metal-bodied 35mm camera, and I found it, and just talking with him on and off, he showed me a few things about how it worked, and from that point on, I just had a camera with me constantly. It was this extension of my eye. I've always been very concentrated on light in my practice. Ever since I've been making photographs, I've been doing this dance with light, and I don't think that'll ever go away in each project that I pursue in the future. That there'll always be this goal of working on the edge of photography, where you can either barely see a photograph or you're working in something that really tests the limits of the medium of photography.
There are always young artists like Bryce Biscoff that catch your eyes. If you think you have the talent and want to be the next Leonardo da Vinci, welcome to Los Angeles. I'm Xiwen, reporting from Los Angeles for Cosmo Times.
Oh, welcome back.
You're a photographer now, I think?
Yeah, I was quite inspired by Bryce's photo series about Burrows Cave.
Someone is getting over their head.
New York City never sleeps, and neither do the passionate young artists that call it home. Today, we're talking to some budding new talent in the art scene, comedian Billy Domino and performer Mandarin Wu.
We like to see the weirdos who are on the fringe of society.
Without arts, I think it's really unfulfilling, and then, especially New York is something, where it prides for that.
Billy's career is no laughing matter. On second thought, it is. Billy's a comedian who performs in the Flatiron area weekly. He's also a freelance writer for television. Even in a funny business like comedy, things can get pretty serious.
I would like to make this my full-time career. I have been fortunate enough to be able to make this, a very large part of my life. But, at this point, it's not exactly the moneymaker. But I'd love to be able to, find my way into whether it's, writing for television or, if I had to put a crazy goal out there, I would love to host a late night show one day.
So what do you do when you're not making people laugh?
My daytime job right now, I've got a few. I work as a hotel concierge. I also am an apartment broker, and I do some SAT and ACT tutoring, for high school students. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should have asked what you don't do. That list might be a little shorter.
Yeah, right now I don't work for the sanitation department, and I'm not a paralegal.
Performing stand-up comedy is fun, but hearing your jokes on national television is something else.
I was out, didn't watch it live. I went home at 4 in the morning, turned on the show to see if I'd gotten anything on. I was half asleep, and as the joke started to be read, I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds like the joke I wrote. And then over the course of a course, I was like, that is the joke I wrote. They just used my joke. And then I just started jumping up and down, and it was 4 a.m. and everyone was asleep, so I couldn't make noise. But yeah, and then I started, texting everyone, very selfishly, and woke them up that way.
A Crazy Life is full of interesting characters. Billy uses his everyday interactions as inspiration for the stage.
There's so much going on around New York. There's no shortage of it. And the people that you meet on the subway, and the people that you wonder about whether they're muttering to themselves, when you can surprise yourself, those are always, the greatest moments.
This is the Knapp Broadway Community Chorus of young actors, singer, dancers who are all professionals and like to come together to work together for this art form, choral music. Mandarin is one of our fantastic singers in the group. We are so happy to have her. She's a great artist and is really so talented in so many different styles of singing, and we're very fortunate to have her.
New York City is a place of art. I know that I have to be here. Go for it. I think, you never know.
Mandarin is American-born Chinese. She's been channeling her heritage through her role in Mulan. She's also performed with the Metropolitan Opera. When she's not singing and dancing, she's producing, directing, and designing clothes and costumes. No matter what she's doing, there's always a heavy dose of creativity.
This is a very typical New York studio there where I would audition, and well, a lot of people would audition. And there's a hallway with many doors, and each door has its own room where we sing or dance. I want to perform. But why do I want to get into shows? I think, I do want to learn how a production works, because I am also a director-producer. I want to, because I know that I have the ability to do these things, and I want to, hopefully share that.
The Big Apple is a mecca for emerging artists. Billy and Mandarin are using New York as their stage as they act out their lives as passionate young artists. Thanks to them, this vibrant scene for creativity is as lively as ever. Reporting for Cosmo Times, I'm Christy Clements.
Don't change that channel, because when we come back,
we meet with two young musicians from the streets of Shanghai.
And let's not forget creative source.
Cosmo Time.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome back. So, what do you think about that Mandarin Wu?
Inspiring.
Is that why you're dancing like that?
Dance is a celebration of life, something you wouldn't understand. Sorry.
Shanghai International Arts Festival kicks off on the October 18th. This year, an activity called RAW was introduced to help young artists bring their work to bigger audiences. Swimming in the Sound is a conceptual musical created by Xu Haibei. This art form is relatively new in China. Xu was given a very small space for his performance compared to the other new artists.
一开始的一个布局完全没有办法让我进行下去，我差点要崩溃。然后后来我们一起讨论出来，现在这个方案是比较就是利用值是最大的，就是说。原先它剧场的创作，它本身就有一个剧场的构作，那这个空间的可能就在那个剧场的构作里面的。那我们再是针对不同的那个演出空间会进行一些调整，像这次来调整的话，就用了1天的时间。其实挺紧张的，真的很紧张。
The theater was a total of 30 square meters. It's small in size, but his creativity wasn't limited. In his musical, a lot of traditional Shanghai objects can be seen. One of them is what we call a tanyu.
就痰盂在我们这个作品里面，它是一个灵魂之处。就是也许我不会怎么样去特别把它用到前台或者怎么样当做一个主角一样用，但是它是无处不在的。为什么？因为这痰盂它是来自于我们生活，上海，尤其上海人，我觉得都会特别的熟悉和亲切。然后生活中的东西，我觉得只要是真实的，就没有所谓的美和丑的概念。然后我把它用进来呢，就是当做一个发声体的这样一个概念。然后你现在看到的就是这个布置，就是我们把我们需要用的一些乐器都会陈列在里面，其实也是一个发声体的一个象征吧。就是痰盂好像印象中它应该承载一些排泄物的仅此而已的功能，但是我们在这个剧场里面就是把它用作一个特别美的一种乐器的一个承载物，一个象征吧。
Ain't like swimming in the sound. Harvard student Sam Wu is trying to send a message of environmental protection with his work. Although Sam is not majoring in music, he has a classical background for over 10 years playing violin. His inspiration for the raw performance comes from a high school trip to the Yangtze River.
Spring of 2011, my school organized a trip to the Yangtze River. Our trip leader, a teacher, was a biology teacher, and she talked a lot about the living system there that's maybe not so much heard of when you're going on a cruise trip and the tour guides telling you. So it's a scientific side of the story which first drew my attention to the extinction of Baiji Tuan. Baiji Tuan was functionally declared extinct in 2007. Better manage our environment. It's a very great topic to help, as I said in my pre-concert speech, to combat apathy of people that might not think that this is such an issue that we should even be concerning us about.
在很多时候，物种灭绝仅仅体现在统计数字上。当看到不断有物种的原始家园被剥夺，不断有物种从哺育人类的江河湖海中消失时，我们无法想象其灾难性的后果。因此，我们甚至对灭绝这个词都变得有些麻木，它似乎很遥远。
Shanghai International Arts Festival, I think it's great, and I think that it's very, very impressive, and that it shows that Shanghai is this vibrant community of culture, of creativity, of innovation that will continue to flourish.
There's much more artistic surprises to be discovered at the Raw Festival Shanghai.
You know, I would love to compose an orchestra piece too, like Sam Wu.
You know, you have to learn how to read the music first to do that.
Of course, I know my solfege. Do, a deer, a female deer, ray, a drop of golden sun.
Well, Bai Shishu thinks he's Julia Andrews over there. Let's check out this week's creative source.
So
afar.
Handwork made with scraps by luxury brands. Light systems that can be split and attached to any place. These novelties are just a part of many creative designs at the Young Swiss Kaleidoscope held in the city center. As a modern and vibrant city, Shanghai always embraces new ideas, especially from young creative talent. The exhibition, dedicated to emerging Swiss designers, features cutting-edge design from pre-commercial development to successfully launched products.
We invite the Chinese counterparts to come and exchange with us because we also want to be inspired with the Chinese skills.
Don't miss this chance to check out a fusion of Swiss art and Shanghai innovation. Recently in Shanghai, a leading American design house of modern luxury accessories announced an exclusive collaboration with Chen Man, one of China's most influential fashion photographers set to shoot its fall 2013 footwear collection. But for Chen, shooting footwear represents the easier side of fashion.
为什么选择脚呢？因为我觉得这个脚啊是没有分别的，大家都不会说这个脚是，好看的脚、不好看的脚、黑人的脚、白人的脚，因为这个脚正是体现了我们全球的女性的一个共通的出口。
Graduated from Central Academy of Fine Arts, Chen Man captures a series of lifestyle images that are inspired by the elegant, stylish woman. With the theme of Follow Her Steps, the images depict a day in Chen Man's life, as told from the perspective of her footwear. The work conveys the energy and creativity that are so reflective in this quintessential New York brand. You fool! You swine! Did you think I shall follow into that game?
Who are you calling a fool? There was never a game. Today's show was always about the young artists.
Oh, Mother of Mercy. How could I? How could I?
What is done, and it is the end of today's show. There's no turning back.
No! I refuse! The show must go on. It must go on.
Why are you repeating the lines like a broken record?
I'm not repeating the lines like a broken record. I'm adding my talent. Besides, it makes them more creative, more dramatic. It's better.
It's not better at all. It's not acting at all. It's fake. It's exaggerating. It's not natural acting. That's why we're filming today at Shanghai Theatre Academy.
Yes, exactly why.
Come on.
New York.